From NPR News, this is All Things Considered. I'm Melissa Block.
I'm Robert Siegel, and we're going to focus now on a debate that has been raging in music circles for years about how much influence a conductor really has. He stands at the front of the orchestra where the musicians follow his every cue. Or do they? Well, NPR science correspondent Shankar Vedantam reports on a new study that attempts to settle the question once and for all.
If you know as little about classical music as I do, you may have the same question I've had for a while. How much difference does a conductor really make to an orchestra? The musicians all have scores that tell them what to play. Do they really need someone standing before them and waving a stick? I've been too afraid to put that question to a real conductor, but I recently got a chance to put it to a scientist.
My name is Yiannis Aloimonos. I am a professor at the University of Maryland and the director of the Computer Vision Laboratory.
Aloimonos studies the language of musical gesture. So I asked him, I've always wondered, how important really is the conductor? I mean, they seem very important. They're standing in the middle of the stage and they're waving their hands. But there's a part of me that says, we could probably take the conductor away and the orchestra would probably be able to play just as well.
I used to think the same thing when I was a kid. And I actually wanted to be a conductor for some time because I thought, I don't have to do anything.
At some point, Aloimonos decided that not doing anything wasn't what he wanted to do. That's when he became a computer scientist. He's recently finished a study that answers my question, not with opinion, but with data. Along with his colleagues, Aloimonos installed a tiny infrared light at the tip of a conductor's baton. The scientists placed similar lights on the bows of the violinists in an orchestra in Europe. When the conductor waved the baton and the violinists moved their bows, the moving lights created patterns in space, which the scientists captured on camera.
You have a signal that is originating from the conductor, because he's moving his hands and his body, and then the players, they perceive that signal and they create another signal by moving the bows of the violin appropriately. So you have some sort of sensory-motor conversation.
A sensory-motor conversation. Aloimonos spends a lot of time thinking about how the brain makes it possible for us to interpret the actions of other people. He thinks actions follow the same principles as spoken language. Aloimonos said he wanted to find out
whether the signal of the conductor influences the signal of the player.
If the violinist moved in response to the conductor's movements, then my theory would be wrong. The conductor was really leading the orchestra. On the other hand, if the violinists were moving independent of the conductor's baton, it would show the conductor was superfluous. Now, my theory would be that there was no influence at all.
Well, it didn't come out like that from the data.
Aloimonos found that conductors do lead their players, and not only that, the scientists had two conductors lead the same orchestra. One was a veteran who exercised an iron grip over the violinist. The other conductor was an amateur.
What we found is the more the influence of the conductor to the players, the more aesthetically pleasing the music was overall.
Music experts who listened to the performance of the orchestra under the control of the two conductors found the version produced by the authoritarian conductor superior. Remember, these experts didn't know which version was being led by the veteran conductor and which by the amateur. All they heard was the music. Aloimonos played me excerpts from each version. Try to guess which one had the authoritarian conductor. And here's the second version. The experts had no doubt when they listened to the two versions. The first version was better. That was the version led by the veteran and authoritarian conductor. If you guessed right, congratulations. If you guessed wrong, that makes two of us. Shankar Vedantam, NPR News.